How are you guys doing? Wonderful, I hope. Um, I am trying to, wait a minute, I don't want to know the wrong thing. Anyway, you guys doing alright this morning? Blessed day. Woke up to another day on earth. Another beautiful day. Good morning, good morning. Good morning to everyone. I know I didn't do a video last night, yesterday evening, but I spent some time with the old lady. Because sometimes you get wrapped up in too much YouTube and having a bad hair day. Can you tell? It's all kind of frizzed out. That's alright. I think I'm going to shave it off today. I've been saying that, I know. Anyway, let me get this situated. I should have got this situated first, but I'm trying to figure out how to get into this other deal. Let's see. Alrighty. Tanya's here this morning. Good morning. And Lurk, saved by Jesus. Fish. Tanya again. Good morning, everyone. Well, we're going to start where it all begins. The book of Genesis. Very unique book. Goes through all the 7 days, or the 6 days, and 7th day you rested. The 7th day. But when you get into Genesis, you got chapter 1, starts off on verse 26. The creation of man. And God said, let's make man in our image. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl in the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. See, it tells us that we have dominion over them. We have power over them. Did you know that? Did you know you had power over every living creature? Ain't that cool? Yes. You have power over every living creature. So God created man in his image. And the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. We have dominion over everything. When he created us, he gave us that power. That was one of the very first powers that he gave to man. One of the very first. Not talking about blessings, but powers that he gave to us. Blessings, the first blessing was when he breathed life into man. Creating him was a creation of itself, but he breathed life into man. And then it goes on to some of y'all's favorite verse. I know it's my favorite verse. It assures me that what I do is okay. And God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb. I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat." He gives us every seed-bearing plant, every seed-bearing tree, every fruit seed-bearing tree. Now that's a tongue twister. Anyway, he gives you every seed-bearing plant. You know, that's why I said what I said the other day about smoking cannabis. There's nothing whatsoever wrong with it. It is natural, and it comes out of the earth. It is for our consumption. Did you know, I looked it up, and if you look it up, you'll find out the same thing. But even things that are poisonous to us have its reason and have its benefits to certain extents. It's kind of funny when you think about it. You know, almost everybody is allergic to poison ivy. You get over there, you get anywhere around that plant, and it's all over you. Next thing you know, you're scratching everywhere. But the poison that's in poison ivy is actually used in rubs to help heal other things. When you get into herbal, you figure that out. And it breaks you out just the same way as the poison ivy does naturally. But when it's mixed with other stuff, when it breaks you out, it literally does a covering over your skin and helps to get rid of blemishes and stuff, believe it or not. Now, I wouldn't suggest anybody doing that, because until you actually read up on it and figure out exactly what you mix it with and everything, it's probably not the best idea, because you're going to end up with poison ivy and everybody else is, and calamine lotion, and it stinks and it's expensive. Well, it might not be very expensive, I don't know, but I know it stinks. And it sucks walking around with that calamine lotion on you. But anyway, he gave every seed-bearing plant for us, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life. I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. He says it again. I don't know if you noticed, but the Bible, if they would quit repeating itself, the Bible would be very, very, a lot smaller book. But there's a reason why it repeats himself. So that people get it. So that people understand it. But anyway. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. That was on the sixth day he done that. Before he rested, he made man. And you know, that brings up a very good point. People are taught at a young age that hold on. People are taught at a very, very young age, all through school and all through church, especially in church. Oh, you can't smoke weed. It's the devil's lettuce. Can't drink. It's one man's interpretation of the Bible. Now, this is just my thoughts on it. I know that in my life, I'm going to do exactly what I have been doing as far as smoking weed and as far as drinking a few beers here and there. And I'm going to live life, and I'm not going to worry about that so much. With the Spirit of God within you, you don't have the desire to do wrong, but yet you have the desire to drink a beer or so at dinner, and you have the desire to smoke some herb when your body's aching and hurting. But what I was saying is, you're taught at a very young age that it's wrong to do that. But yet you're also taught at a very young age. I was watching a cartoon this morning with a grandson, and they go to the doctor. And this is a sick cartoon. I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, why in the world are kids watching this? And he's zoned in. You can't get him to break loose of it. And the doctor comes in there and he puts this big pill in his mouth, and his chicken pox thingies or whatever it was that was all over him changed to a different color. And then he made him bend over, and he stuck a needle in him and shot him full of medicine, and suddenly he was feeling better. They're taught at a young age, all children are, and all of us was taught at a young age that you go to the doctor, and the doctor makes everything all good and great. And you know, it doesn't seem that way in my opinion. And I'm going to put it that way. I do know that there is plenty of people that are headstrong, that medication is medication, and God gave the people that made that medication the knowledge to do that, and which I think is horse crap. You look at medication with the side effects that it has, and watching a show last night, I was getting really agitated because there's a lot of commercials, and the later in the evening, I guess they think the later in the evening, the more older people are watching TV, and not the kids. So they really start pushing medicine. But when they're pushing medicine in all these elaborate commercials, they have to do the disclaimer on the end of it, and they say, so one of them was really funny. Reoccurring heart problems or newly found heart problems may occur. Depression and trouble breathing and this and that. And I was looking in the medicine that they were describing was I'm thinking it was one of those weird enhancement ones. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, why in the world would a person put themselves in jeopardy of a heart attack and all of that stuff unnecessarily? Because, God's going to take you when he gets ready to take you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you believe or what you think. He's going to take you when he gets ready to take you and on his terms. And if it's taking you out by a bad illness, then that is his choice. That is, I would hope and pray that he doesn't take me out by that. But knowing how against medication and against doctors and stuff that I am, I would rather go to a church and ask the elders of the church to pray for me than I would go to a doctor. And with me being like that, I'm sure that's probably the way that he'll end up taking me out. I come from a long line of people with heart problems and with diabetes and high cholesterol, gout, all of this stuff. My mom had tumors. All of this stuff runs in the family. And, but people panic and they worry. Oh, this runs in my family. This runs in my family. That runs in my family. And so I got to be checked for this. I got to be checked for that. And you go into a doctor's office and eat you a honey bun before you go to the doctor's office and not tell them because you don't want to get in trouble because you accidentally ate a whole bunch of sugary stuff and it's going to mess up your test results. Oops. Well, then they, your sugar's a little high. You got high blood sugar. All right, well, let's put you on all this medication, and then you need all of this other medication to counteract with it. And then you go home and you feel really, really bad, and you feel worse, and you're thinking, okay, well, it's my sugar. And then you're testing it, and you're checking it 20 times a day, and taking all this medicine. And then you go back to the doctor, man, doc, I'm feeling worse. Well, okay, because it's the side effects of this medicine. Well, let's go ahead. Let's give you these two medications to clear up that side effect from that one medicine. Long story short, next thing you know, you're on 20 different kind of medications, and half of them you don't even know why you're even on them. What do you mean? This one's for man, I had a doctor put me on medicine one time, and I still, to this day, have no idea what he put me on that particular medication for. But when I read the stuff on the medication, come to find out it was for epileptic people. What in the world do I need medication that is for an epileptic person for? I don't. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, ma'am. Love you too. Anyhow, he put everything on this earth for our consumption. Now, those are my personal thoughts. I'm not telling everybody don't go to the doctor anymore. Drop all your medication and just go and smoke a joint. I'm not saying that. That is my personal opinion, but I'm not a doctor, so don't take my word for it. But my doctor told me that. My doctor is the one that is up there. Which is really cool because I don't have to wait in line for an appointment. I don't have to sit in the waiting room, and I don't have to go in there with a bunch of people that are sick because I have my doctor's visit with my doctor in the privacy of my own home, and I enjoy it that way. Yeah, of course, I'd go to a doctor if I cut myself wide open, I needed stitches or something like that. Of course, I would. But anyway, like I said, got to put everything here on earth. Think of it this way: people live to be hundreds of years old. Way back in the day, they lived to be hundreds of years old. before any of this modern medicine. Now we got all this modern medicine because people seem to believe that um, God give us a chemistry set and told us, here, have some fun. But now that we have all of this advanced doctrine and all this advanced medication and all of this advanced stuff, people are only living to be 60, 70 years old at best. Now that's a far cry from several hundred years old. Make you kind of wonder. Back in those days, you had nice fresh air you could breathe. Now you got to worry about pollution. What is pollution? Pollution is something that man done. We done it ourselves. We had destroyed the very gift that God gave us. God gave us this earth, and people in this earth has destroyed it. It just makes you sit back and wonder. And then, not only have we polluted the earth so much because we are consumer people. Everything that man makes, no matter whether it's harmful for the air or harmful for us, we see it because of advertisement. We see it because of trickery when it comes to advertising what they do or what they say. I mean, look at any advertisement you see. Watch the advertisement for Hot Wheels. Not Hot Wheels, Big Wheels. Those battery operated little carts that the kids drive around. Now, anybody that has kids knows they have bought one of these at one point in time or another. And on the commercial, it looks great, looks wonderful. The kids having a ball, and they love their little car deal and everything. And us as parents, we know that once you buy it, bring it home, put it together, let the kids loose in it. You might make a day, 2 days, 3 days, maybe even a week if you're lucky. Sometimes, very seldom, depends on the kid, depends on how rough they are with it, but sometimes you might actually get a month or so out of them. But you're not going to get very, very much time out of them at all. We consume, and then there's the people don't recycle the plastic that they use to make that. They don't. You just find in the car. You find tons and tons of consumer products. Go to a dump. You want to see something that is disgusting? Go to a dump. You see all of the stuff that people throw away. That was a really cool lesson that I learned when I went out to Slab City. When you're looking around at trash and you're figuring out how to repurpose it, it's really amazing. Me personally, I think that every person should learn how to repurpose all their trash. There'd be a lot less trash in this world. Exactly. Yes. Definitely. You show appreciation, show respect for what's given to us. Yes. And one man's trash is another man's treasure. Yes. But if everybody takes that concept in, Try that. It might sound disgusting, but try that. Look in your trash bag. Look in there and see something that isn't biodegradable. It isn't, it isn't something that is going to do anything but harm Mother Earth that much more. And look at it. Take it out of there, clean it off, whatever. Set it down on your coffee table and sit there and stare at it and look at it for a little while. Whatever it is, no matter what it is. Empty pack of cigarettes, whatever. Whatever happens to be in your trash. Look at it and then think, how can I repurpose this? Or how can I make sure that it is done away with correctly? Either or. How can I make sure it's done away with correctly, or how can I repurpose it? How can I use it for something else? And that is what we learned when we went out to Sub City. We learned that things that people were throwing away and just tore up or whatever else, they could be repurposed. They can be reused. Anyway, we got a little bit off the topic, but like I was saying, we fall too much, or we rely too much on medicine and not enough on God. We believe too much in medicine and not enough in nature. And there is things that come out of it that aren't good. Anyway, just remember, every seed-bearing plant was put on earth for our consumption, for our use. I would love to see this world go a little more natural when it comes to...
Maybe it's going home.
Alrighty. When it comes to the more herbal side of things, the more natural side of things, and to stop going by what we were taught as kids and going by man's understanding, and start going by the understanding that God gives us. Like I said, I even thought so myself years ago. I thought, yeah, you smoke weed, or you eat a couple of mushrooms, or you drink a beer, you're going to hell. That's just all there is to it. And you couldn't have told me otherwise. But the same preachers that tell you over and over that you're going to hell for that, they forget to tell you the very first thing that God blessed us with. The very first thing, after making the earth and everything that was in it, and all the animals, and after making all of that stuff, He made man. After making man, He told man, hey, this stuff is here for you. This stuff is here for your use. Every animal, every plant, everything is there for us. We don't live in a world that was designed and built for creepy crawly critters. We don't live in a world that was designed and built for robots. We do not live in a world that was designed and built for all the other animals. We do not live in a world that was designed and built for fish No offense, fish. But we do not live in a world that is designed for all of them things. We live in a world that is designed and built for us. Therefore, everything that is around us is for our use. Okay? Everything has its purpose. And once the preachers that tell you that you can't smoke weed, they forget the first thing that was told to us. The preachers that tell you you can't drink a beer or so, they forgot what Jesus' first miracle was. And people that tell you that you can't do this or can't do that are getting you to understand their thoughts and their theories of it. And let's be honest, we all have different thoughts. We all have different theories. We all have different beliefs. And it is not for us to condemn anyone else for what they believe. It is also not for them to condemn us. So I made it very, very clear. This is my personal belief, and this is my personal walk with God. And do what?
Do you have any change?
There's I don't have any change. No. What do you want to do?
Go to the store and get me a gun.
Oh, well, take the card.
I don't want some.
I don't know either.
Okay.
And $30-something on it, and he used like $10. I'm sure he's got enough for a couple of venoms. Give me one. Anyhow, so now that I have completely ignored the chat room and I have rambled on, let's go back and read some comments. That's a heads up for those of you that love to delete comments. All right. Mushrooms, herbs, plants, and fruits were all put here by the Creator for us to eat and use for our benefit. Unfortunately, Lucifer doesn't appreciate God's gift the same way his children do. Right on. Exactly. Let's see. Balance. I can't do that. I'm reading backwards here. Reading the comments backwards. Let me just back up here a little ways. One pill makes you larger, one pill makes you small. Go ask Alice. Yeah, he's 10 foot tall. Old music group, Tanya. Right fish. I don't know what that is, but I'll check it out. Send me a link to that. I can't click on that link right now because then I'll mess up my deal. But Sean, send me whatever that link is, and well, I can go back in there and get it. Never mind. There is a link to the song. Oh, never mind. What is the song? Yeah, you see, y'all done figured out I wasn't watching the stream at all, so y'all were just talking to each other. Now I'm lost. My issue with Western medicine? My issues with Western medicine. What do you mean? They got Western medicine and Eastern medicine? What are you talking about? Okay. Medicine is that they only deal with the mind and the body. The soul is an afterthought to doctors, which leads me to believe that they are blind. Very good point. Very good point. I'm worried about yes, they're worried about the mind and the body, but not so much the soul. You're right. Let's see. That's good, Roger. True fish, like brother. Right. Purpose, good first, and concern. Yes. What about the fallen? Good question. What about the fallen? Fallen. Be right back. Coffee. The right thing to do is continue and replenish somehow. Shows the yep. One more. Okay. So use and restore, not rape and destroy. You're right. You know, that is exactly what human beings do on this earth. Not all of us, but you know, we all see it and we all use the products afterwards. You know, you have people that are I worked in the oil field for years, drilling down into the earth to pull out the oil that lays way below or way beneath the surface, and pull out all of this oil in order to make gasoline and everything else. And we're all guilty of that. We all use up the gas, and every time you get in your car, you're using up the stuff that they've drilled out of the ground, which is fine. It's here for our use. But when you see that it's destroying something, you know, that plus you're not using something and then replenishing it. Because how can you replenish that? How can you reuse it? But in return, we all have our part in destroying the ozone layer, polluting our land, polluting our seas, polluting our water sources. I mean, everything. You're referring to what I said. White Rabbit by White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane is the song. All right. Well, anyway, so for this morning's devotion, just remember Genesis chapter 1. Let's see, verses 29 through 31. It tells you that every seed-bearing plant and everything on this earth was given to us for our use. Let's not abuse it. And let's think about that and meditate on that and realize I will do, Tanya. But let's meditate and think about that and realize that the change happens with us. You know, Flux, a guy from the Slabs, he had a very, very good saying that he put on the side of the bus when we did our San Diego trip. And I love that saying. It's be the change you want to see in this world. Let's all try it, those of you that would. And let's try to be that change that we want to see in this world. Seriously. The change that we want to see in people. And the only way we can show people a change is to lead by example. So when you get a chance to, look in your trash can. See what it is that you're wasting that you can reuse. Think about it. When do we need to go to a store and buy a bunch of stuff that has a lot of trash that goes with it, or can we go to a farmer's market and just buy fresh vegetables and stuff? I mean, just simple little ideas like that. You have a new adopted brother, Vinny. Are you talking about Vinny from the chats? Just because it's there does not mean we have to use it. Yes, indeed. Guess where man's ability to choose right from wrong comes into play. Exactly. We have free will. If we didn't have free will, then we couldn't sin and fall short. We would be all programmed to do the right thing no matter what. And it would have been a wonderful world, but yet we would have loved God and was praising God because we had to. That's why he gave us free will, was so that when we love God and we worship God and we praise him, we are doing that because we want to. You know, you were typing that when I said it. You know, we were given free will for that reason. But see, with given free will, the devil was able to come in and play. And he was able to come in and deceive. And he was able to come in and torment. Make people believe that this is okay and that is okay. And make them believe that they need this or they need that. Why would he say, right here, Psalm 23, he maketh me to lay down in green pastures. Let's see. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He strengthens my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. It says there, and it also says, did it again. Matthew something. Anyway, he talks about worry not about where you're clothed or how you're or where you're going to get your food or anything like that. Worry not about that because does he not provide for all of the animals on earth? Does he not provide everything for them? Do they have to have a barn to live in? Do they have to? No, he doesn't. Or they don't have to have any of that. He provides for them. And do we mean less than them? When this whole world was put here for us, we mean more than we obviously we were his chosen creation to have demeanor over all of the animals and all of the critters and everything. And with that being said, then obviously we are more important, which I hate putting it that way, but it's true. And if we are so important, why can't we have the trust that he'll provide everything we need? We don't have to rip the earth apart. Although there's nothing what one or two men can do. Or is there? With the faith of a mustard seed, we can move mountains. I want to see that one. I really want to see that one. That is when I'll know my faith is strong. But we can do all things through God, through Jesus, through his life, death, and resurrection, through the blood that he shed for us. We can do all things. including be saved. Be saved from a world of anguish and a world of evil. And this world has got a lot of evil in it. Anyway, think about it. Pray about it. Ponder it. Discuss it. See what you think. See what you decide. See what you can do. Let's all do our part. Because literally, everything the way it is going, we have literally destroying what God has given us. We have destroyed almost everything that God has given us. And He keeps giving us more and more and more again. Side note, please, prayers go out for so many. There are so many that need prayer. I'll start with, wow, I just ran across there. Start with Benny. Beninci, he needs prayer. He's still hurting really bad. He's still in the hospital, and when he gets out, he doesn't know where he's going. Hopefully his apartment's ready by then. Let's pray for the government to where they might actually start putting God back in the country. Pray for all the ones that have been through devastating times. And right now, with all of the fires in California and all of the people that have lost their homes, their lives, the whole cities, whole towns, cars, everything. They have lost everything due to fires, family members and all. Pray for them. Keep them in your prayers. Keep them in your thoughts. To put it as boldly as I can, pray for everything around us. We need it. We need to see God's Spirit poured upon this earth. We need to see an awakening with all of God's children. So, let's pray for each other. We don't need to pray for ourselves, because God already knows our needs. He already knows our thoughts. But we need to pray for each other. All right. Well, I've been at it almost an hour. I love you guys. I pray for every one of you. And I pray everybody sees the blessings that God has right in front of your face for you. Starting with the two very first blessings of the day. One eye opens, and then the other eye. And we are given the breath of life for yet another day to do God's work. So, everyone, God bless. Love you guys. Have a wonderful and blessed day.